Listen closely because what I'm about to share with you will fundamentally alter how you experience reality itself. Right now, in this very moment, you're about to discover the most powerful transformational principle that exists, a way of being that bypasses waiting, eliminates doubt, and creates such magnetic alignment with your desires that they have no choice but to materialize in your physical experience. Most people are living their lives completely backwards. They're waiting for their circumstances to change before they change their internal state. They're waiting to feel successful before they act. Successful, they're waiting to have abundance before they think abundantly. But the universe doesn't work that way. Consciousness creates reality, not the other way around. Your current reality is nothing more than a reflection of your past ways of being. Your current circumstances are the materialized thoughts, emotions, and actions you've been practicing for months and years. If you want different circumstances, you must begin being different right now. Not when conditions change, not when you feel ready, but right now, in this moment. Here's what's happening every second of every day. Your subconscious mind is scanning your behavior, looking for evidence of who you believe you are when you act like someone who's struggling financially. Your subconscious mind says this person believes they're poor, and it creates more experiences of poverty when you act like someone who's confident and successful. Your subconscious mind says this person believes they're successful, and it creates more experiences of success. Your subconscious mind cannot tell the difference between what you're experiencing and what you're acting like you're experiencing. This is the most powerful loophole in human consciousness. And when you understand how to use it consciously, you can literally act yourself into any reality you desire. Think about this. Every actor who has ever convincingly portrayed a character didn't become that character accidentally. They studied the character's behavior, mannerisms, thoughts, and emotional patterns until they could embody them completely. They acted as if they were that character until the acting became natural, automatic, effortless. You have been unconsciously acting as if you're the person your current circumstances suggest you are. If you're struggling financially, you've been acting as if money is scarce, difficult to obtain, and hard to keep. If your relationships are challenging, you've been acting as if love is complicated, painful, and unpredictable. But what if you could consciously choose which character to play? What if you could decide to act as if you're already the person who has everything you desire? What if you could embody the thoughts, emotions, and behaviors of your desired reality so completely that your subconscious mind has no choice but to create evidence that matches your new way of being? This isn't pretending, this isn't fake it until you make it. This is recognizing that all reality begins in consciousness, and consciousness is expressed through how you choose to be in each moment. When you act as if your desires are already fulfilled, you're not being fake, you're being authentic to your true potential. Every great achievement in human history began with someone acting as if their vision was already real before they had any evidence that it could be real. The Wright brothers acted as if humans could fly before they built their first airplane. Steve Jobs acted as if personal computers would change the world before anyone believed him. They weren't being delusional, they were being ahead of their time. They understood that external reality follows internal reality, that circumstances follow consciousness, that the world rearranges itself to match the energy you consistently embody. Your energy right now is creating your future experiences. Every moment you act as if you're lacking something. You're programming your future with more lack every moment. You act as if you're abundant, grateful, and successful. You're programming your future with more abundance, gratitude, and success. The universe is always responding to who you're being, not who you say you want to be, not who you hope to become, but who you're actually being right now, through your thoughts, emotions, actions, and energy. If you're being someone who's waiting for their life to change, the universe gives you more waiting. But when you begin acting as if your desired reality is already yours, when you embody the energy of having received everything you want, when you think, feel, and behave like the person who already lives your dream life, the universe has no choice but to rearrange circumstances to match your new energetic identity. This is quantum physics in action. Your consciousness is not separate from the quantum field that surrounds you when you change your internal state consistently. The quantum field responds by collapsing different possibilities into your experience. You become a magnet for experiences that match your energetic signature. Here's exactly what happens in your brain when you begin acting as if your desires are already fulfilled. Your neurons start firing in the same patterns they would if you were actually experiencing what you're acting out. This creates new neural pathways that support your desired reality. Scientists call this neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to reorganize and form new connections. Every time you act as if you're confident, successful, healthy, or abundant, you're literally rewiring your brain to support confidence, success, health, and abundance. But here's the crucial part. Most people try this for a few hours or a few days, and when they don't see immediate external changes, they go back to their old ways of being. They think acting as if isn't working, but they never gave their brain enough time to create permanent new neural pathways. It takes consistent repetition over time to rewire your brain permanently. You must act as if your desires are already yours, not just when you feel like it, not just when it's easy, but especially when your current circumstances seem to contradict your desired reality. This is where most people fail. They act as if they're abundant when money flows easily, but return to scarcity thinking. When bills arrive, they act as if they're confident when things go well, but return to self-doubt when challenges appear. They act as if they're healthy when they feel good, but return to illness identity when symptoms arise. The power of acting as if only works when you maintain your new identity, regardless of temporary circumstances. Your external world will test your commitment to your new way of being. This testing is actually a good sign. It means change is happening. When you first begin acting as if your desires are already yours, your current reality might seem to resist this new version of you. You might feel uncomfortable, unnatural, even fake. This discomfort is your ego trying to keep you in familiar patterns, even if those patterns create unwanted results. Your ego equates familiarity with safety, even if familiar feels terrible. It will try to convince you that acting differently is dangerous, dishonest, or delusional, but these are just thoughts designed to keep you trapped in your current identity. The truth is, you've been acting all along. You've been unconsciously acting as if your current limitations are real, as if your past defines your future, as if you're stuck with the hand life dealt you, but none of these are ultimate truths. They're just roles you've been unconsciously playing. Now you get to choose consciously which role to play. You get to decide whether to keep acting as if you're limited, struggling, and stuck, or begin acting as if you're unlimited, abundant, and free. This choice determines everything about your future experience. Let me give you the exact protocol for acting as if that will transform your reality in the next 21 days. This isn't theory. This is a precise system for rewiring your brain, embodying your desired identity, and magnetizing your dreams into physical form. Every morning, within the first 30 minutes of waking, you're going to spend 15 minutes in what I call identity immersion. This is where you consciously step into the energetic identity of the person who already has everything you desire. Sit quietly, close your eyes, and ask yourself this question. If I already had everything I desire, how would I feel right now? Let that feeling build in your body. Don't think about it, feel it. Let the emotions of gratitude, fulfillment, satisfaction flow through every cell. Now ask yourself, if I already lived my ideal life, how would I think about my day ahead? What thoughts would naturally flow through my mind? Think these thoughts. Now let them become your actual thoughts for this moment. Let them reshape your mental landscape. Next, ask yourself, if I were already the person I want to become, how would I hold my body? How would I breathe? How would I move? Adjust your posture, straighten your spine, breathe deeply. Let your physical presence embody confidence, success, and deep inner knowing. Finally, ask yourself, if I already had my perfect life, what would I be most grateful for right now? Feel genuine gratitude for these blessings, as if they're already present in your life. Let gratitude fill your entire being until it radiates from every cell. This 15-minute identity immersion session programs your subconscious mind with the energetic signature of your desired reality. Your brain starts creating neural pathways that support this new identity. Your electromagnetic field shifts to match your new way of being. Throughout the day, you must maintain this new identity through conscious micro-choices. Every decision you make either reinforces your new identity or undermines it. There are no neutral choices. You're either strengthening your desired identity or weakening it. When you're deciding what to wear, ask yourself, what would the successful version of me wear? When you're choosing how to spend your time, ask yourself, how would the abundant version of me invest my time? When you're interacting with others, ask yourself, how would the confident version of me show up? These micro choices throughout the day are actually more important than your morning session because they demonstrate to your subconscious mind that this new identity is real, consistent, and permanent. Your subconscious believes what you do more than what you think. If you act as if you're abundant in your morning session, but then spend the day making decisions from scarcity, your subconscious receives mixed messages and defaults to the behavior pattern that's most consistent, which is usually your old identity. This is why acting as if must become a full-time commitment, not a part-time practice. You must embody your desired identity in every situation throughout every day until it becomes so natural that you don't have to think about it anymore. In challenging situations, ask yourself, how would the version of me who has overcome this challenge respond? How would they think about this problem? What actions would they take? How would they maintain their energy and confidence when you encounter setbacks? Ask yourself, how would the successful version of me interpret this experience? How would they use this as fuel for growth? What opportunities would they see in this situation? How would they maintain their vision despite temporary appearances? The key is to never break character. No matter what happens in your external world, you must maintain the internal identity of someone who already has what you desire. This consistency is what creates the magnetic pull that draws your desires into physical form. Your external world is always reflecting your internal world with a time delay. What you're experiencing now reflects who you were being weeks or months ago. What you'll experience in the future reflects who you're being right now. This is why acting as if is so powerful and why it requires such commitment. You're literally programming your future experiences through how you choose to be. Today, every moment you act from your desired identity is a moment you're creating evidence that will appear in your future. Around day 7 of consistent practice, you'll notice something interesting. Your new way of being will start to feel more natural, less forced. You'll catch yourself automatically responding to situations from your new identity instead of your old patterns. This is neuroplasticity in action. Your brain is forming new default pathways that support your desired way of being. But you must continue the practice consistently because these new pathways are still fragile. They need consistent reinforcement to become permanent. By day 14, your new identity will feel significantly more natural. You'll find yourself making choices from abundance, confidence, and success without having to consciously think about it. Your subconscious mind will start automatically filtering your reality to support your new identity. Around day 21, most people report that their new way of being feels completely natural, like they've always been this way. They realize they weren't pretending to be someone else. They were finally being authentic to who they really are underneath their conditioned limitations. But the real magic happens in your external world. Synchronicities begin appearing. Opportunities manifest from nowhere. People respond to you differently. Doors open that were previously closed. Resources become available. Solutions present themselves. This isn't coincidence. This is the natural result of sustained identity. Shifting when you consistently embody a new energetic signature, the universe rearranges itself to match that signature. You become a magnet for experiences that correspond to your new way of being. Your brain has a filtering system called the reticular activating system that determines what you notice in your environment. It filters out millions of bits of information every second and only allows you to consciously perceive information that matches your dominant beliefs and identity. When you begin acting as if you already have what you desire, your reticular activating system starts filtering your reality to show you evidence that supports this new identity. It highlights opportunities, resources, and possibilities that were always there, but invisible to your old way of being. This is why, too, people can live in the same environment with access to the same resources, but have completely different experiences. They're operating from different identities with different filtering systems. One sees obstacles everywhere, while the other sees opportunities everywhere. The person acting as if they're successful naturally notices business opportunities, networking, possibilities, and resources for growth. The person acting as if they're struggling naturally Notices problems, limitations, and evidence of why success is difficult. Your identity determines your reality, not the other way around. Most people wait for their reality to change so they can feel different. But conscious creators change how they feel and act, so their reality has no choice but to change. This is the fundamental difference between victims and creators. Victims wait for external changes to give them permission to feel and act differently. Creators give themselves permission to feel and act differently, which creates external changes. When you master the art of acting as if you join the ranks of conscious creators, people who understand that reality is malleable, that circumstances are temporary, and that consciousness is the ultimate creative force in the universe. But you must understand that acting as if is not about positive thinking or wishful fantasies. It's about embodying the authentic energy of your highest potential. It's about aligning with who you really are, underneath the layers of conditioning, fear, and limitation. Your desires exist because the potential to fulfill them exists within you. You can't want something that isn't already available in the quantum field of possibilities. Your job is not to create your desires. Your job is to align with them through your way of being. This alignment happens when you act as if your desires are already fulfilled, when you embody the energy of having received what you want, when you live from the end result instead of from the current circumstances. Living from the end result means making decisions based on where you're going, not where you are spending money, like someone who has plenty, not someone who's broke, speaking like someone who's confident, not someone who's insecure, carrying yourself like someone who's successful, not someone who's struggling. This doesn't mean being irresponsible with money or arrogant in communication. It means operating from the internal state of someone who has what you desire and making choices that align with that internal state. When you live from the end result consistently, when you act as if your dreams are already real, when you embody the energy of your desired reality completely, you become irresistible to the experiences, opportunities, and resources that match your new identity. Your electromagnetic field literally changes when you shift your identity. Electromagnetic fields can be measured by scientists, and they've discovered that people in states of gratitude, love, and abundance generate different electromagnetic signatures than people in states of fear, worry, and lack. These electromagnetic signatures interact with the quantum field around you, influencing the collapse of quantum possibilities into physical experiences. When you act as if you already have what you desire, you generate the electromagnetic signature that attracts those experiences. This is not metaphysics, this is quantum physics applied to conscious creation. Every emotion you feel, every thought you think, every action you take creates specific electromagnetic frequencies that broadcast into the quantum field. The quantum field responds to these frequencies by organizing energy, matter, and circumstances to match them. When you consistently broadcast the frequencies of having your desires fulfilled, the field organizes itself to bring those desires in your physical experience. But this process requires absolute consistency. You cannot act abundant in the morning and poor in the afternoon. You cannot embody confidence during good times and insecurity during challenges. You cannot live from your desired reality part-time and expect full-time results. The universe responds to your dominant identity, not your occasional identity. If you act as if you're successful 20% of the time and struggling 80% of the time, universe responds to struggling. If you reverse those percentages, the universe responds to success. This is why most people fail at manifestation. They're inconsistent with their identity. They act from their desires sometimes and from their fears. Most of the time, they live from their vision occasionally and from their circumstances habitually. Mastering the art of acting as if means choosing your identity consciously, consistently, and completely, regardless of external feedback, regardless of temporary setbacks, regardless of other people's opinions, regardless of past failures. You must become so committed to your new identity that nothing can shake you from it. No circumstance can convince you to return to your old way of being. No challenge can make you doubt your transformation. No delay can make you abandon your vision. This level of commitment transforms you at the cellular level. Your DNA actually changes expression based on your emotional states, your beliefs, and your consistent behaviors. When you act as if you're healthy, abundant, and successful, your genes express themselves to support health, abundance, and success. You are literally becoming a different person at the biological level, not just mentally or emotionally, but physically. Your cells respond to the energy you consistently embody. They organize themselves to match your dominant identity. This is why people who master acting as if often look different. Their posture changes, their facial expressions shift, their entire presence transforms. They're not the same person who started this process. They've become who they were always meant to be. The person you're becoming through acting as if isn't a fake version of yourself. It's the most authentic version of yourself. It's who you would be if you hadn't been conditioned by fear, limitation, and others, people's expectations. Your desires point toward your authentic self. They show you who you're meant to become, what you're meant to experience, how you're meant to contribute to the world. When you act as if these desires are already fulfilled, you're not pretending, you're becoming. This becoming process accelerates when you add physical movement to your acting as if practice. When you walk like someone who's confident, when you gesture like someone who's successful, when you breathe like someone who's abundant, you embody your desired identity more completely. Your body and mind are connected through what scientists call the mind-body feedback loop. When you change your physical posture and movement patterns, you automatically change your mental and emotional states. This makes acting as if easier and more natural. Stand like someone who has everything they want. Sit like someone who's confident in their abilities. Move through the world like someone who knows they belong everywhere. This physical embodiment sends powerful signals to your subconscious mind. Your subconscious mind interprets your body language and uses it to determine your identity. When you consistently carry yourself like someone successful, your subconscious concludes that you are successful and begins creating experiences that match. But remember that acting as if is not about copying external behaviors. It's about embodying internal states. Success, confidence, abundance, health, these are internal experiences that naturally express themselves through external behaviors. Focus on cultivating the internal feelings of having what you desire, and let those feelings naturally influence how you move, speak, and interact with the world. This inside-out approach creates authentic transformation rather than surface-level imitation. The most powerful part of acting as if is how it affects your relationship with time. Most people live in the past, dwelling on what went wrong or projecting their past patterns into the future. But when you act as if your desires are already fulfilled, you live in the present moment from a future identity. This creates what quantum physicists call retrocausality, where your future desired state influences your present choices and actions. You begin making decisions not based on your past conditioning, but based on your future vision. This shift in temporal orientation is incredibly powerful because it frees you from the limitations of your past and connects you directly to the infinite possibilities of your future. You're no longer bound by what was your aligned with what could be. Time itself becomes your ally instead of your enemy. Instead of feeling like you're running out of time to achieve your goals, you feel like you're moving inevitable toward their fulfillment because you're already living from the energy of having achieved them. The urgency, desperation, and pressure that usually accompany goal pursuit disappear when you act as if you already have what you want because you're not trying to get somewhere, you're already there. Energetically, you're just allowing physical reality to catch up. This relaxed, confident energy is incredibly attractive both to opportunities and to other people. Desperation repels, but confidence attracts. When you embody the energy of already having what you desire, you become magnetic to more of what you desire. People will notice something different about you, even if they can't put their finger on what it is. You'll radiate the energy of someone who knows their worth, someone who expects good things to happen, someone who belongs in any room they enter. This energetic shift opens doors that were previously closed, creates conversations that lead to opportunities, and attracts resources that support your vision, all because you decided to act as if you already. are who you want to become. But the most profound change happens in how you feel about yourself when you consistently act as if you're worthy, successful, and abundant. You begin to actually feel worthy, successful, and abundant, not just in your mind, but in your bones. This felt sense of worthiness is what most people are actually seeking when they pursue external goals. They think the money, relationship, or success will make them feel worthy, but the feeling of worthiness must come first. When you act as if you're already worthy of everything you desire, you short-circuit the need for external validation. You give yourself permission to feel good about yourself right now, which paradoxically makes achieving external goals easier and faster. The universe responds to your internal state, not your external circumstances. When your internal state matches your desires, your external circumstances begin shifting to match. Acting as if is the fastest way to create this internal-external alignment. Starting tomorrow morning, you're going to begin the most important performance of your life. You're going to act as if you're already the person who has everything you desire, not for a few minutes, not when you feel like it, but as your new permanent way of being. This isn't a technique you try. This is an identity you embody. This isn't something you do occasionally. This is who you become completely. This isn't a temporary experiment. This is a permanent transformation. Your old identity got you your current results. If you want different results, you need a different identity. And the fastest way to develop a new identity is to begin acting as if you already have it right now in this moment. The person you're becoming is not in the future. That person exists right now in this moment as a quantum possibility, waiting for you to embody their energy, to think their thoughts, to feel their emotions, to take their actions. The moment you begin acting as if you step into that quantum possibility and begin collapsing it into physical reality every day, you maintain this new identity. Every choice you make from this new way of being brings that possibility closer to manifestation. 21 days from now, you will not be the same person who heard these words. Today, you will have rewired your brain, embodied a new identity, and begun attracting experiences that match your transformed way of being. But it all begins right now with your decision to never again act as if you're lacking anything, to never again embody the energy of someone who's waiting for their life to change, to never again live from your current circumstances instead of your desired reality. Your transformation begins the moment you choose to act as if everything you desire is already yours. The moment you embody the energy of having received your dreams, the moment you live from the end result instead of from the current situation. The universe is waiting for you to make this choice, waiting for you to step into your power, waiting for you to act as if you're already who you came here to be. Your new life, your new identity, your new reality begins right now. Act as if it's already yours, because in the quantum field,